turn I wouldn't expect, you know?
Here's an example of a good heel turn.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
And this is a bad heel turn.
I still use that meme. Every time my friends tell me, like, hey, you know how you wanted to hang out? I can't hang out tonight. I just send them that one, like, gif of, like, Roman Reigns falling over after being hit in the back with a steel chair.
I got your little girlfriend's contract right here.
Ooh.
We're going to be talking about the latter in this video, and I'm sorry to say, it only gets worse from here. Number 10, Daniel Bryan. Now, I'm not talking about when Daniel Bryan became the World Heavyweight Champion, or when he turned heel in 2018 after becoming the WWE Champion. The heel turn I'm talking about happened in between those two. In the summer of 2013, Daniel Bryan organically rose to become WWE's hottest star. Bryan was pretty much the polar opposite of what WWE wanted its top stars to be like, so they tried to fight the fans and go in a different direction. In late 2013, Daniel Bryan became the target of the Wyatt family. This led to several matches between Bryan and the three Wyatts, but it all changed on the final Raw of 2013. During the show, Daniel fought Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and Bray Wyatt in a gauntlet match. This was Bryan's breaking point, and after it was all done, the American Dragon gave in.
The machine would never let me win, no matter how loud you people chanted.
With that, Daniel Bryan turned heel and became part of the Wyatt family. I think WWE was hoping this would kill Bryan's momentum, but it didn't work. 2 weeks after Daniel Bryan joined, he turned on the Wyatts and became a face, or good guy again. The biggest problem with this heel turn is that it happened at the absolute worst time. Daniel Bryan's popularity was on the rise, and rather than go along with it, WWE tried to fight it. Now, I do give WWE credit for course correcting pretty quickly, and this heel turn didn't hurt Bryan's popularity or his eventual win at WrestleMania 30. However, things only get worse from here. Number 9, Los Matadores. Remember Los Matadores? They were one of the many incarnations of Primo and Epico. I won't say the tag team was phenomenal, but it was memorable. The gimmick of two masked Spanish bullfighters was colorful, and they even had a mascot, El Torito. In fact, had Los Matadores not been formed, we may have never gotten WLC. While fans remember all that, most don't remember that the group did turn heel. In September 2015, Los Matadores lost a match to the Dudley Boys due to a miscommunication involving El Torito. Afterward, Diego attacked the mascot and turned the group heel. Devon and Bubba then intervened and put the bullfighter through a table. Following the heel turn, Los Matadores only had one match as heels, and it was nothing to write home about. After that match, Los Matadores disappeared, and when they returned, they were under a completely new gimmick. If Los Matadores was going to retire less than a week after they turned heel, then why have them do it in the first place? Maybe WWE just knew a heel Diego and Fernando wouldn't work, so they decided to stop it before it started. If that's the case, I wish WWE would have done the same thing to the heel turns we're about to see at number 5 and below. Before that though,
I have no idea.
Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's heel run in TNA from 2010 to 2011 is loved by some and hated by others. However, I think everyone can agree that it was much better than when WWE tried it in 2003. In January of that year, Hardy was taking on Rob Van Dam. RVD won, and after the match, the charismatic Enigma attacked Van Dam and thus became a heel for the first time in his career. A similar thing would happen the next week when Jeff Hardy lost a match to Booker T. Hardy once again engaged in a post-match beatdown, but it was Jeff who ended up getting laid out. The same thing would happen again next week. Jeff Hardy interfered in a match between Kane and Rob Van Dam and got laid out. Shawn Michaels would try to offer some words of wisdom to Hardy afterward, but Jeff didn't listen and ate sweet chin music. Then, the next week, Jeff Hardy turned face after he saved Stacy Keibler. Jeff Hardy is inherently a hard character to make heel since he does the awesome high-risk moves that fans like, and he's got a cool look, among other things. Like with Daniel Bryan, I once again give WWE a little bit of credit for realizing a heel Jeff Hardy wasn't going to work and adjusting. However, what I cannot give them credit for is making Hardy look like a dork. Whenever he'd do a post-match beatdown or interfere, he almost always got beaten up. I know good guys are supposed to win, but a heel needs to have at least some credibility, and Jeff didn't have any.
I think
Number
he's too
7,
nice.
Tucker. While Heavy Machinery wasn't one of the all-time great tag teams, it was by no means bad. The team had some entertaining moments and a number of solid matches. However, it was clear that WWE prioritized Otis over Tucker, and that was made crystal clear with Tucker's heel turn. In 2020, Otis won the Money in the Bank briefcase. However, due to several months worth of storytelling, Otis had to defend the briefcase against The Miz. During that match, Tucker attacked Otis and thus turned him heel.
We were supposed to be a team, but I was the workhorse. I carried the load.
Now, the reason behind Tucker's heel turn wasn't bad, but the problem was WWE did nothing with it. Otis and Tucker never even had a match against each other. 8 days after Tucker's heel turn, he had a match with Ricochet and lost in 38 seconds. Oh yeah, Tucker did become the 24/7 champion for all of 1 minute. After that, Tucker would be off TV for months, and once he returned, he was released a few days later. Tucker's heel turn was just pointless, and it seemed like it was just a way for Otis to lose the Money in the Bank briefcase. Number 6, Eugene. Eugene is a character that WWE likely would prefer you forgot.
Hi besties, it's me, Miwa, and if you're enjoying today's video, please consider subscribing, okay? Like, please, 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 times a billion. I'm like, really asking this of you, ne?
Debuted in 2004 as the nephew of Raw General Manager Eric Bischoff. What makes Eugene such a controversial character is that he was special. In fact, the Eugene character is inspired by the autistic son of wrestling legend Rip Rogers. While the character was controversial, Eugene did become popular with fans and was instantly a babyface. Eugene remained that way for the majority of his career, but not for all of it. In late 2006, Eugene formed a tag team with Jim Duggan, and they even challenged for the World Tag Team Championship. The group was unsuccessful in their attempts, causing Eugene to snap. After losing a match, Eugene attacked his tag team partner and turned heel.
Don't laugh at me. I am special.
The Eugene character could never work as a bad guy, and the whole heel turn just felt like it was done for shock value. It was going to be a challenge to get fans to hate a character who was supposed to have special needs, and WWE barely tried. Within a month, WWE dropped it, and Eugene went back to being a good guy again. Alright, now we're getting into the really bad stuff. Brace yourselves. Number 5, Nikki A.S.H. In June 2021, Nikki cross-debuted a new character, Nikki A.S.H, almost a superhero. Naturally, Nikki was a good guy, or girl, and the gimmick was pretty good too. It was a lot more flashy and colorful than most women on the roster. Plus, it led to Nikki winning Money in the Bank and then cashing in to become Raw Women's Champion.
I'm not gonna lie, that looks lame.
Nikki teamed up with Rhea Ripley, and the two became the Women's Tag Team Champions. As a face, Nikki A.S.H was alright. That was until she turned heel. In January 2022, Nikki attacked Ripley and became a villain. It was similar to when the Hurricane turned heel and became Gregory Helms. However, unlike Helms, Nikki A.S.H kept using the exact same character, entrance music and all. I think the idea was that she was so delusional that she still thought she was a hero, but then shouldn't she change her character from almost a hero to an actual hero? The character didn't work as a heel, and part of that might be because she didn't have any great storylines or rivalries after she turned. Regardless, WWE eventually agreed and had Nikki A.S.H revert to her original Nikki Cross persona. Number 4, Mick Foley. Mick Foley is one of the most beloved wrestlers because of his willingness to put his health and safety on the line to entertain fans, on top of just being a wonderful human being. While Mick Foley had worked as a heel in the 90s, by the 2000s, Foley had cemented himself as a true fan favorite. That's why, in 2006, it was so bizarre to see Mick Foley turn heel. That year, Mick Foley began a rivalry with Edge, leading to their iconic WrestleMania match. A few weeks later, Foley would face Edge again in a triple threat match involving Tommy Dreamer. However, it was all a setup, and Edge and Foley attacked Dreamer, turning Foley heel. Listen to this crowd reaction.
Smart to stay outside and pull it from behind. What?
Did you hear it? No? Well, that's exactly the point. At this stage in Mick Foley's career, nobody wanted to boo him. The man had given up his health to give fans the best matches possible. Who in their right mind is gonna boo that? Now, the reason behind the heel turn in storyline was that Mick Foley was impressed by Edge, so he decided to join him. The heel turn didn't last super long though, with Foley turning face again during his rivalry with Ric Flair later in the year. Another reason this heel turn was so bad is that by 2006, Mick Foley had been making sporadic appearances in WWE. It was like when WWE made Dusty Rhodes heel in 2011, or Shawn Michaels in 2013. Foley, like both Rhodes and Michaels, was a respected and beloved legend at this point that nobody wanted to hate. Number 3, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, I know that a lot of people say this is the worst heel turn, but let me explain. WrestleMania 17 is considered by many to be WWE's best event ever. Part of that reason is because the two biggest stars of the Attitude Era faced off in the main event. The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Rock was the WWE champion, and Austin was the challenger. The two fought in a no disqualification match, but partway through, Austin's arch nemesis, Vince McMahon, came out. McMahon then helped Austin win the match, and afterward, the two celebrated and had a beer. This turned Stone Cold Steve Austin, the most popular wrestler on the roster, into a heel. While it was shocking, it didn't make any sense. These two had spent years making each other's life a living hell, and all of a sudden, they were cool with each other?
Yeah, what the hell?
Also, soon after aligning himself with McMahon, Stone Cold Cold joined forces with Triple H too. You know, the man who hired Rikishi to hit Austin with a car. The biggest problem though was that fans couldn't stop cheering Austin. He was just that popular. The heel turn felt like a swerve so the show could end with a swerve, but the numbers show it was the wrong move. After WrestleMania 17, WWE's TV viewership dropped, and so did their pay-per-view buys. The other big issue was that there wasn't really another main event face that could fill Stone Cold's void. The Rock was gone after WrestleMania to film a movie, and while there were still top-level face wrestlers, they weren't near the level that Austin was at. Now, the reason I don't have this heel turn at number 1 is because
in that
afterwards,
moment,
Stone Cold did have some pretty funny moments, especially involving Kurt Angle, so it's hard to say it's the absolute worst. Plus, Stone Cold did eventually turn face again and had another WrestleMania Classic with The Rock in 2003, thankfully without any BS swerves. Number 2, Michael Cole.
Bro, I'm like, now that I'm thinking really hard about it, is the movie that like, The Rock left to go film fucking Scorpion King? Was it fucking Scorpion? There's no way it was. It was Scorpion King, bro. That's insane. What are we watching? The top 10 worst heel turns of all time. Bro really went in. Okay. Dude, I watched it, and then the CGI gave me nightmares for like a month. I couldn't like go to sleep without a light on because I was so scared that like fucking CGI The Rock as a scorpion would like show up. I was scared, dude.
Involving WWE commentators in storylines is often a difficult thing to do. Some work out alright, like with Pat McAfee, but a lot don't. WWE tried not once, but twice to make Jim Ross a heel, but both failed. In fact, Ross actually got cheered after kicking Michael Cole in the nuts.
What the?
Speaking of Michael Cole, while heel Jim Ross was bad, heel Michael Cole was much worse. JR did stay a heel for too long, but Michael Cole was a heel for over 2 years, and the only reason he stopped was because of Jerry Lawler's real-life on-air heart attack. Now, what about Michael Cole made him such a lousy heel? Well, unlike heel commentators like Jesse Ventura and Bobby Heenan, who were entertaining, Michael Cole was just obnoxious and annoying.
Well, the reason we put 6 divas in this matchup is because what we can't make up for in quality, we make up for in quantity, or something like that.
Cole was also the main commentator for WWE, being the play-by-play guy, so fans heard his voice more than anyone else on the show. Now, there's an argument that Michael Cole was actually the best heel, since he made so many people legitimately upset. The only problem was, as a commentator, Michael Cole couldn't get beaten up. Sure, he did get in the ring from time to time, but those were exceptions.
So
unlike everyone else on this list, there was never any payoff to Cole's heel antics, and that's why he's so high up. However, what could be worse than heel Michael Cole? Well, and the number 1 worst heel turn in WWE is
no way.
Dean Ambrose. After breaking up 4 years earlier, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns reunited the Shield.
Can't watch
However,
this chat.
about 2 months into it, Roman was forced to take time off after his real-life leukemia had returned. The same night this announcement was made, Dean and Seth won the Raw Tag Team Championship. Immediately though, Ambrose attacked Rollins and turned heel. Now this moment was actually really well done. Fans had just seen Dean, Roman, and Seth embrace on stage, making them want to see Rollins and Ambrose win the tag titles even more. Then, when everyone is feeling good, Dean Ambrose ruins it like a true heel. However, things quickly went downhill.
The way you cheer your little hearts out for Seth Rollins makes me sick. No, literally makes me sick to my stomach. Makes me want to throw up. And what is that smell?
Ambrose's heel character became really hokey, with him saying he had to vaccinate himself from Rollins' illness. He would even come out to the ring wearing a gas mask at one point.
What?
This big 90s WWE villain did not fit at all with the more serious and darker character that Dean Ambrose had built. What made this even worse is that this heel turn could have and should have been really good, considering what Seth Rollins had done to Dean Ambrose
what did they do
4
to
years
you?
earlier. While Dean did win the Intercontinental Championship, he only held the title for about a month before losing it. He also lost clean to Seth Rollins right after bragging that Seth had never beaten him clean, ruining Ambrose's credibility. This heel turn was so bad and so poorly handled that it was the reason Dean Ambrose left WWE and ended up joining their competitor, AEW. On top of that, just 4 months after Dean's heel turn, he reunited with Rollins and Roman Reigns to reform the Shield. The whole reason Ambrose turned heel in the first place was because he said the Shield made him weak. Not only did this contradict Dean Ambrose's actions, it made his heel turn entirely pointless. Ambrose himself was rightfully upset about this, and there's actual video of him getting angry. To hear what Dean told WWE, watch this video.
This was a year ago, so it's not even like that old. It was like actually just a year ago. I was thinking Cena's is too recent. The heel turn is a little too recent. This video is like a year old.